Well, you probably saw the breaking news in the class of 2026. Now let's dive deeper into it. Brady Hart, Rivals 100 quarterback, top 5 pro style passer in the nation, off the board to Michigan after multiple days in Ann Arbor. A lot of dominoes falling because of this decision. Obviously, a lot of schools certainly interested in this decision. Brady, let's go right to you. Tell me what it was like in Ann Arbor and tell me what it was like realizing, hey, I'm going to be a Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean, one word to just describe it was pretty special. I mean, it was a special place, and yeah. So we got there on Saturday. Um, we got there on Saturday, and it was a 2-day visit, and it was as good as it gets. You know what I mean? And just Ann Arbor, first time there, and it was unbelievable. Like just the town, and the biggest thing for me was the people. Like even the people in Ann Arbor, the people on the staff, the coaches, and the players. I mean, it was special, and just the fit of Michigan and just what those coaches are and the players on that team. It just fit me as a person, and yeah, it was an amazing visit.
So obviously you leave Ann Arbor, you go to Columbus, you get that offer because why
Yeah,
not? That's fun. And then you come to this decision. I want to shift it to Baylin, your private quarterback trainer in the Orlando area. When did things shift in this recruitment? Yeah, it felt like there was this group of schools, and then Michigan, to many, came out of nowhere. So, from your perspective, when did this downshift happen towards the national champs?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing to be with Brady Hart through his process. Obviously, he missed out last summer. He was nursing a little injury that kept him away from experiencing all what he has been doing the last month and a half, experiencing those unofficial visits and camps and stuff like that. So he's been focusing on slowly getting fully healthy for the season, in which he led Cocoa to a state championship and a 14-1 record with an asterisk of 15-0, arguably the best season they've ever had in their history. And it was really cool to be a part of that and see Brady literally dominate the state of Florida with the best competition. And made it very look easy. So it was easy to make up for what he missed out on last summer by what he did this year, especially the St. Thomas Aquinas game, which was like game 2 or 3 in his season at Cocoa. I mean, it was like you throw 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, everybody's going to make sure they're paying attention to who Brady Hart is. So once he did that, my phone started going off the hook and he started collecting offers, and it was really cool to be, again, a part of that process. But to be honest with you, the whole Michigan deal, we're just at Elite 11, towards the end of the spring. He puts on a great performance. I mean, arguably the best, according to Elite 11, the coaches there and Brian Stump, they said this was the best young talent that he has seen across the country at that point, which obviously you had guys like Brady Hart, Noah Grubbs, Darion Michael, some elite talent here in Orlando in the 26th class. For me, when Brady Hart called me after the visit at Michigan, it was, man, this place is special. I'm going to Ohio State. Let's see how that transpires and see what happens. And Michigan kind of goes to the top now, especially with all the hype surrounding Clemson. Everybody assumed, right? Oh, Clemson's number 1. Well, Michigan was number 1 after the visit, and then he also liked Texas A&M, which was Friday. So he had a crazy weekend. And sure enough, he gets the offer from Ohio State. He calls me, hey, I'm in the office right now. They just offered me. I'm going to call you in a couple hours to let you know how the day went. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. So I'm not thinking anything of it because the last time we talked about commitment was going to be in December. And so I'm like, okay, we're good. He calls me 2 hours later, and I'm no joke. I'm at a dinner, and he calls me. He's like, Baylin, I just made a decision that's going to change my life forever. And I literally said, you committed. And he goes, go Blue. And my whole body literally went into complete, just goosebumps. And I got a little emotional because I just remember the journey we've had together. But my goodness, what an epic Monday it was, getting an offer from Ohio State. And then 2 hours later saying, nope, I'm going to Michigan. So, yeah, it's been special to see that. But it really was a relationship with Campbell and his visit at Michigan, which was home for him.
Now back to you, Brady. In terms of making the decision, how, I guess, dicey was it? Because, like you said, there was a lot of offers coming in. We've talked about it multiple times this year, this spring, and you were assessing them differently. So, what was so different about Michigan that separated from you, even after going to Columbus just the next day?
Yeah, like I said, it was just obviously we took a ton of visits this summer and spring, and we've been to, I mean, Florida, Miami, Texas A&M, LSU, Penn State. I mean, we've been pretty much all over the country, and the biggest thing that stood out was, like I said, just the culture of the guys, the culture of the coaches, the culture of the players, and obviously the ability to win. They've won at a high level forever. I mean, like all-time leading program in winning, and obviously coming off a national championship season, and that's something that stood out that I want to be part of. Just how they have a culture. They don't always have the best recruiting classes in the country, but they get the right guys in the building that are hardworking, and you can, when you get those type of guys in the building that are in the right fit and are all bought into the culture, that's how you can create a special team and win championships.
When you hear your name associated with a JJ McCarthy, who just won the Natty, just went top 10 in the draft, played his senior year in the state of Florida, not too far from where you grew up. What does that mean to you? Obviously, you're Brady Hart. You're your own guy. We all know that. But for you to be compared to a guy who had so much success and basically the ideal career at the school you're now going to at your position, what does it mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's special. I mean, that's a great person to be compared to. He's had a great career at Michigan, and just getting to talk to him a little bit about like why he chose Michigan. Like he said he went to a place that is going to challenge him, a place that's hard, and you're going to deal with hard stuff every single day, and it's not always going to be easy. And he picked a place that's going to squeeze the excellence out of him. And just hearing that, and just hearing his mindset and how he would attack each day, and that position he was in, I was like, I knew that type of guy is the guy that I want to become and turn into. And yeah, it's really cool to be compared to him. And obviously, I'm going to be my own person and compete and play there. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did you talk to JJ before you committed or after?
I talked to him before I committed, and he gave me a little insight on why he chose Michigan. And honestly, that was a huge piece in why I committed. And obviously, I was getting all the right signs and feelings before that. But just hearing to him and his journey while he was there, yeah, it was definitely a turning point in my decision.
So I scouted JJ as a senior. I've scouted you now for a year or so. I know my differences between the two, but I want to go to you first quickly, Brady, and then to Baylin. Let's open it up. What is Michigan getting in Brady Hart, the quarterback?
Yeah, I think they're going to get a pocket passer that can make every single throw in the field, but just not a pocket passer. I mean, a competitor, and I'm going to go in and grind every single day, and I'm not worried about all the extra stuff like NIL and all that stuff. That stuff doesn't it played no effect into the decision I had to come to Michigan. I made the decision because I know I'm going to go to a place that has the right people, and I can reach and achieve all my goals there. And but yeah, so an athletic pocket passer that can make throws on the run and run and escape when he needs to. But yeah, dice up the defense and make every throw on the field.
And then Baylin, you've seen him as much or more than just about anybody in this industry. What was Brady Hart when you first got a hold of him, and what is he becoming now as he still has a couple years left of high school ball?
Yeah, I would say Brady Hart is a perfectionist in a great positive way. When I first trained him, his 8th grade year, his dad told me, before I met him, that he was a baseball kid, loves football. His dad's a professional athlete, so he knew the regimen of what it takes to be great. And so he's like, man, but he loves football. And getting to know a little bit more about Brady's background, he played football at a young age, and he played a lot of defense, also quarterback, but he loved to be physical. And I think that is something that's not really touched on in his development, is the fact that he loved contact. And I think that's what separated his love from baseball to football, was the fact that he loved the adrenaline of hitting and getting hit. Brady's always bet on himself. So he goes from Melbourne to Cocoa his sophomore year, not having any really varsity experience as a quarterback, to be on the biggest stage. His first game is against Jones High School, who's a powerhouse in Orlando, They beat them, knocked them off, and then they go down to St. Thomas, who's #1 in the state in all classifications, technically beat them. Let's not even get into that detail. But so he just
people
started.
down here know. People down here know.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't know the real deal because I went to the University of Miami with him the next day, and everybody was congratulating him, even the St. Thomas Aquinas kids. So, and that was against A&M. So, I mean, I know that was a big deal for Brady and what happened for him that night. But I mean, dude, just like again, he just bet on himself, and now he's a state champion as a sophomore in his first real varsity starting year. He threw 41 touchdowns, barely any interceptions, and again, had the hardest schedule, and I would say in the entire state, if not the country, when we're talking about the top 10 quarterbacks from a opponent standpoint of what he did against them. I mean, there's not a thing that this kid hasn't done already, and he still has 2 years of high school. So that's what Michigan's getting, is a guy who bets on himself to win championships, and I believe that's what Michigan Standard's all about at quarterback.
Yeah, certainly you can understand the fit on both sides here. Going back to you, Brady, I want to talk about what Baylin said. Not only betting on yourself, but buying into a coaching staff that is revamped. It's not the exact same group that just, hoisted the lipstick-looking trophy at the end of the year. So tell me about Sharon Moore. Tell me about Coach Campbell, who we've heard a lot about today. Tell me about the coaches there that helped you, get to this point where you're ready to come off the board and build this class on your own.
Oh yeah, I mean those guys are amazing, and that program isn't going to skip a beat. You know what I mean? Those guys are the type of guys you want leading your program. I mean, Coach Moore, he's a player's coach. He's the type of guy that's gonna be with the guys every single day. He's investing in the team. He's not just worried about winning and being the CEO coach. He's going to be invested in the guys on the team, and that's huge for a head coach. Like, you want that guy leading your program. And Coach Campbell, I mean, he's awesome, obviously, and he's just developing JJ into the player he was, and obviously being the 10th pick and winning a national championship. I mean, he played a huge piece in that. And yeah, I mean, my relationship with those guys was a huge piece in me deciding like where to go. And yeah, just the biggest thing is like they believe that program isn't going to skip a beat. And they believe that the guys they're recruiting in this class and 25 and 26, that this is going to be the next national championship team, and they're just going to keep going up from where they are.
Two more for you, Brady, and we'll let you go wherever you're headed in that fancy ride of yours. Number one, you're the first commit in 2026 for Michigan. So how do you want to, I guess, emphasize that as the literal face of the class? What's the Brady Hart pitch looking like to fellow potential Wolverines?
Yeah, the biggest thing is the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks got to lead it. You know what I mean? The quarterbacks, the face of the program. He's kind of the heartbeat of the team. Like, that he needs the guys that someone needs, like, the guys need someone to follow and someone to lead them. And I think that being the first commit in the class shows that the one of the biggest pieces is off the board, that their quarterback believes in the program. And that's huge. It's just the biggest thing is with me recruiting and going out into Florida and across the country recruiting guys for Michigan, is that a national championship is going to happen here again. You know what I mean? They're going to win another one. And if we can get the right guys in the door, they got the best, one of the best staff in the country, the Coach Moore and Coach Campbell and just everyone on that staff. And they're gonna help me with it, but we're gonna go recruit an awesome class and bring another championship to Ann Arbor.
And then lastly, any message for Michigan fans seeing your face, hearing your voice for the first time? Anything you want to say to them before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just go blue.
There he is, Brady Hart, getting right to the point. Michigan's newest commitment, its first commitment in the class of 2026, and of course, a Rivals 100 quarterback recruit. There he is. Thanks, guys.